Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 5, Episode 202. It is Friday morning and just leaving home. It's early. I'm heading to the office to get checked in. And I actually thought about not playing anything today, just resting, staying home. But I decided against that. We are going to go. It's going to be a 4-hour trip each way. And I'm going to focus primarily on blackjack today. I want to get back to mainly playing blackjack if I can. I know I'm going to be limited even faster than I already have been. Well, not that I was limited fast, but I'm going to be limited faster than before because my name is in every system at this point. I've actually thought a lot about how it got there, and it's actually kind of interesting. It was 2 casinos that caused a cascade in all the other ones finding me, and I know most of them are very sore because I went there for so many years, and I've talked about this before. I knew everybody's name, their kids' names, their financial situation, their relationship situations. I had notes on everything and everyone. I could still tell you about most of the people just off the top of my mind. And I think they were pretty sore that I had that relationship for such a long time. And it was all, to be able to play. Not that I didn't like a lot of the people, I did. But my main goal was to be able to get playtime. And I did it, and it worked. And it worked very well. Today we're going to head to a casino where I can fire a little bit more. However, I want to stay out of the high limit room because most of the people in the low limit area have been rotated enough that they don't know me. So if it's not surveillance that catches me, then I should be good. I should be able to get some decent sessions in, I hope. So right now we're heading to the office. We're going to check in, do our normal thing, get out of there. I've got both phones with me. I'm still in the process of moving things. Although like 80% of what I do now is on my new phone. The hard part's going to be moving the podcast, all the recordings, and all the settings and all that stuff to the new phone. But we'll get there soon. This morning it's 66 degrees. The direction I'm going right now is clear skies, but behind me it's cloudy. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to go the other way to get to my stop, so it will be at least cloudy, if not maybe a little bit of rain. So you know that after next week, right? Yeah, after next week, we're going to be going on a cruise. That'll be 7 days. After the cruise, I've been invited to go see a friend of mine in Texas, and he's an unbelievably nice guy, unbelievably intelligent guy. You cannot understate how amazing this guy is. Super nice, super humble for the achievements that he's made in card play, in AP, for the intelligence that he has. He's the most humble guy. You could not pick him out of a crowd. You really can't. I can pick people out who are intelligent out of a crowd, but he is so humble and not full of himself that you would think that he was just an average guy, and I can't say enough about him. He has invited me to Texas, and we're probably going to collaborate on some stuff there, but also to give me some training in poker. And the idea is that I can go either there or play locally more often and make more money in poker, since a lot of the other things have not been going well lately, primarily because of being limited. So I believe the week after I get back from my trip, I absolutely have to be in the office Monday and Tuesday. I can't just get away with never being there. So I'll be gone for my week, and then I'll be in the office Monday and Tuesday. And I'm thinking about setting up a flight so that Wednesday I log in at the office and then hop on a plane and fly to Texas, and then spend Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday there, come back Sunday, just in time to go back to work on Monday. I'm going to figure that out in the next few hours, and I'll probably do it. And I think we can both help each other a lot, be very beneficial to each other, and hopefully I am good enough to grasp the concepts that he's giving me, and I'm able to play more often, more locally, and when I go to other places, be able to make more money. Now, I have to say, for the first time, I believe, even though I think last year we made money on poker, I believe that for the first time I'm positive EV on poker, and I am playing against some of the toughest players around, and I'm not exaggerating that at all. You go to a normal poker club, normal casino, you're not going to get players like the caliber that there are in this area. So if I can get good enough to consistently make money with these guys, then I know that anywhere I go, I can make money. And that would be a really good path for me. I could play more online and be more confident, and I can play more live and be confident. And that would be very helpful. Also, last night I took a step toward starting another business. And I'm not going to go too much into detail on that, but I may pull the trigger on some of that stuff today. I already have a company, but I set up some licenses last night so that I can operate legally in what I want to do. Whether I do it or not, I'm not sure. I can always shut that stuff down, but I wanted to make sure from the beginning, from day one, that I'm operating legally. And I think I've said this before on here. I take less deductions than what I'm entitled to, because I want to stay under the radar, not get audited, and I pay more taxes than I have to, just to have that peace of mind. Things like home office and certain things with food and all that stuff, I try to go the minimum. I'll do the miles because I can document, because if they say, how do we know you went to these places? Well, no problem. You can look at my credit card and see where I filled up gas, and you can see I'm going to these places all the time. That is easy. If you get audited, you can show that easily and not have to worry about it. But I'll pay a little bit more in taxes and have the peace of mind of not having to worry about getting audited back 3 years, forward 3 years, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, all right, with that long intro here, we're going to head to the office, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, we're going to stop for some fuel. We're going to have about 4 miles range when we stop, but we're going to get the gas station that we want. That always has the best prices, so we're going to do that. And I have a little bit of stuff to do for the office while the gas is pumping. And then by the time that's done, we'll have about 20 minutes of driving before we need to stop for our team meeting. So during our meeting today, we're going to be interviewing a new guy, and then we're going to be using the rest of the time to do our normal meeting. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. 75 degrees outside. Kind of like a hazy day, but not really any clouds in the skies, so I'm pleased about that. Traffic's a little bit heavy, but not too bad. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So stopped for my team meeting, and it was okay. Only lasted about 45 minutes, which is good. Got talking about everything but our jobs. Basically, we did do an interview with someone we're going to hire who's already been kind of on our team for a long time. And then we talked about liquor, guns, sports, and video games. This is what we use team meetings for. So what are we spending $400 or $500 for that meeting to talk about stupid stuff like that? And even throughout the day, they'll go downstairs and spend an hour or two talking outside in the smoking area, just doing nothing. So I don't feel bad about what I do at all because I get my stuff done. Anyway, so just leaving, I stopped at a rest area, leaving there right now, and continuing my trip. Still have a long way to go, at least another hour and a half to 2 hours to go. So we'll do that. So right now, continuing on to the casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. So just continuing on here, I'm about 20 minutes away from my destination. Finally, it's already afternoon. I'm only going to have like 3 or 4 hours here max, probably 3 hours. So it's a long way to go to try to make money, but hopefully we have some good variance today. We're not quitters. We're going to keep doing what we need to do. I wanted to pop in here real quick and mention, we talked about silver for a long time. We made some money off it. We could have made a ton of money, but nobody expected the war to make precious metals go down. So unfortunately, we weren't able to make as much money as we would have liked. Right now, it seems like things are going to start recovering, and the reason for that is almost between 80 and 90% of the crude oil that was shipped out of the Persian Gulf before is back to being exported out of the Persian Gulf. Between Saudi Arabia and Oman, I believe, using their pipelines, sending them to the Red Sea, and then now we're using a southern route in the Persian Gulf to get around a lot of the trouble areas in there. It's up to 80 to 90% of pre-war levels being exported, and on top of that, China is buying from Alaska now, and other countries are buying from the Gulf of America, which now is a territory of the United States. Can you believe this? It's a territory? I never knew that. I just heard that yesterday. So I got to double check that, but that's what I heard, that it's a U.S. territory somehow. Anyway, yesterday or the day before, Trump said that we are engaging in the biggest financial chokehold on Iran that's ever happened to any country. And basically what Trump is saying is any country that wires money to Iran, does trade with Iran, buys, sells, imports, exports, moves any money in or out of the country, will now not be able to work with the United States. And so now it looks like even China, who had already dropped their flow of oil from Iran from 100% to 40%, may be dropping it to 0. And because of that happening, more people are going to be buying from the United States. OPEC had a 50% chokehold on oil production and export. Now it's down to 20%, and the U.S. is up to 30%. So that's a huge deal. Venezuelan oil, 50% of it's coming to the United States to be refined now. So there's a lot more in the Western Hemisphere that's available for sale, and a lot more people coming here. And the United States now has a chokehold on all 4 of the major chokeholds for imports and exports of oil in the world. So because of that, the reason I'm saying all this is because now the hesitation and the possible decline of economies is going to be reduced slightly, because now there is going to be enough oil. You're going to start seeing oil prices drop again, and you're going to start seeing precious metals rise again. And lately you've already seen silver go from like 60 to 69. You've seen gold from like 4,100 to 4,500, and I expect it to continue to go up. It may not be as fast as before, and we still have to worry about a possible decline in the economy here for various other reasons. But what I'm saying is it's something to start keeping an eye on again now. So I will be watching for that, and maybe doing something in the near future. But expect prices to start going back down again, and just watch the precious metals market. There's no reason to get crazy and buy a bunch of stuff. I already have a lot of precious metals as it is, so I'm just going to sit back and watch for now. But it is an interesting thing. The reason that precious metals, specifically silver, went down during the war is because silver is more of a production metal. They make computer parts, make jewelry, they make everything with silver. And so when world economies drop due to not enough oil, due to fuel prices being higher, then people buy less silver, and they produce less things to sell because people have less money because of the increased costs and less trade and things like that. So that is starting to come back, and I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Man, this road is so rough right now. All right, I'm going to let you go, and we'll be at this casino soon. I'll be back. All right, guys, we are here walking around right now. Just played a little bit of blackjack. It was perfect. I walked into the area. Nobody knew me. It was perfect. Nobody would put me in. I start playing. Within 2 minutes, this guy came in who's like the worst of the worst. 1 second. Not only would he put me in, he'd always put me in as winning more than I did. I lose 100, he puts me in as winning 600. I win 500, he puts me in as winning 1,500. So I just walked away. As soon as he walked into that area to do the break for the other pit boss, I just walked away, picked up all my chips and walked away. I was ahead 75. It's all right. There'll be other opportunities, so we'll see what happens here. So far, we're all right. They're opening some new tables, and so we'll get some opportunities here in a little while. Plus 75. I'll be back. All right, guys. I am back, and if you're looking for a lot of good news, you're probably not going to find it here right now. So I was walking around looking for stuff to play. Very little as far as slots. Found a couple small plays and was just about even. I played 2 plays with some other guys. One of them I wouldn't have even played because I thought it was just going to be 2 of us, but it was like 4 of us splitting it. Between those plays, I ended down about $100. I played Pot Limit Omaha, and first hand I played, I lost my stack, which was 300. Second hand I played, I lost my stack, which was 300. Then I bought in again, and I built it up to about 550 or so, and then ended up going all in on a hand. And I had a set with a straight and a flush draw to the nuts. Pretty good, right? And the guy calls me, and he's way behind. He asked if we can run it twice. I'm all for it because I want less variance. And he hits runner on both of them to beat me on both of them. So both runouts, I end up losing. I end up leaving the Pot Limit Omaha table down $998. So yeah, good job. Instead of staying home, you travel and travel and travel, and then you lose a bunch of money. So I was just disgusted. I mean, it was such a crazy hand that everyone from the other tables were coming over to look at it, and I was just so disgusted. I just picked up and left. So now I had played blackjack. I was up 75. Omaha minus 998. Then I go around looking at slots, playing slots, picking up a couple hundred, 150, 80, 100. And I was getting ready to leave. I was down about 300. Overall, I was down 300. So I was up to like 680 or so on my voucher. I was up by like that much on my voucher, and which means I would have been down whatever, about $300 between that and the Pot Limit Omaha. And I found a small play. A lady had left a machine. It's a 75-cent per spin machine. There was a short-term play on there, borderline. But I'm like, what do I have to lose at this point? Let's play it out. First spin, it puts it in position to pay almost immediately. Second spin, I hit an unexpected bonus that pays me over $200. And third spin, it finishes the play, and I end up walking from all the slots combined, plus $954. Now, wouldn't that have been nice if we had known that was going to happen and maybe like not lose all that money on pot limit? So between the loss on the pot limit minus 998, and then the profit on the slots plus 954, and then the profit on the blackjack plus 75, we ended up ahead $31. So just think, you could drive for 7.5 hours round trip and make $31 minus your gas costs. So definitely did not turn out the way I wanted it to. I did talk to a friend of mine while I was there extensively, and it's become just a habit talking about all the negativity going on. We got to turn that around and start talking about positive stuff instead. But then also another friend of mine called me, and he was telling me about what was going on in his life and some really cool things going on with him, and moving and doing all kinds of good stuff for his business and all that. And we may get together on Sunday. Now, I was going to meet someone else on Sunday, but he's not going to be able to make it, so that'll probably get moved to Tuesday. But I will be traveling Sunday night, and he'll be close to this area, I think. We're going to meet in this area Sunday night, so I'll be back over here Sunday night. One of the small joys that I have is talking to all these great people that I met through doing this. These are people that I would have never met otherwise, but these are some amazing people with some ridiculous intelligence, so many good ideas, so many nice, decent people that I meet, and it really is, it kind of keeps things together. Otherwise, you could really go crazy. If you're going to do this by yourself and never meet another advantage player, it's really difficult. It really is. I mean, the ups and downs you go through, and he said that he had heard yesterday's episode, and he's like, man, I was a little concerned about you. Well, you should be, because it's some tough times right now. But I'm keeping it together, and I've got my family there, and I've got some good friends, and it's helping out a lot. So it was good to talk to him, and it'll be good to see him too. And actually, it was at the casino that I was at when I was talking to him. He got backed off the last time I talked to him at that casino, so he can't go in that casino. But it was funny because we went outside because I was a little hot, and I think he was worried about being seen with me, so we kind of met like down the block a little bit, and then he ends up getting backed off and I don't. It's like so crazy. You never know what's going to happen. But anyway, right now we're heading toward home. A lot still to come. My family is supposed to go to a football game tonight. That's an important football game for our community. And they're opening the doors extremely early. Parking is very limited. So by the time I get close to there, the parking's going to be full. Because I would have to go past it to get to home. And the only way to be able to park would be to have someone drive me back to this area. So instead, my wife is taking one of the kids to get a haircut, and then I think we're going to meet, and that'll save me more than a half hour, like 40 minutes of driving. Hopefully, then what we're going to do is park my car somewhere and go in her car. That way it's only one vehicle that we have to park, and hopefully we can get in there. Otherwise, if we can't, what I'm going to have to do is drop them off and then go drive the car somewhere and either go home or walk, 2 miles to where the game is, which I hope we don't have to do that. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, just in the car, kind of like staring off into the distance with a blank stare on my face, because I don't know. I am definitely going to be going to Texas. that'll be a nice break even after the cruise, and we'll see what happens. So I'll have I still have a week of play, then the cruise, then I'll have 3 or 4 days of play, and then probably go to Texas after that. So we will see what happens with all that. My friend is currently out of the country, so we're going to talk in about 6 hours tonight, and we'll get everything figured out. And then my other friend, who I just met with at this casino, and I are likely going to go somewhere at the end of September. So I'll probably have a week off, and then probably fly somewhere else to pick up on some games there. So a lot of stuff in the mix, all kind of congested. We'll see. I mean, a lot of the times when you have a lot of plans like that, some stuff falls through anyway, so probably won't be as busy as I think it's going to be. But that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, let's do some segments. This is the 1776 countdown, where I count down the top 1,776 reasons why I love the United States of America. And we just finished up the first 10 states in the Union, and I want to kind of shift gears here a little bit and start working on some other stuff at the same time. And we're going to start talking about important people, including the presidents of the United States. We're going to start with the first president, which was George Washington. So George Washington, and we're going to come back to the birthday at the end here, but he was technically, in quotes, born February 22nd, 1732 in Virginia. So he became the first president of the United States, and he served 1789 to 1797. So before he became president, he had the opportunity to become king, and he decided he did not want to be a king. We wanted to go a different direction with the country. He wanted to be president, and he also decided that after 8 years, enough was enough, and we don't need to have someone stay in office for decades as president. And then later on, which we talked about earlier in some of the constitutional amendments, we limited the president to 2 full terms or 10 years. Before becoming the commander-in-chief or the president, he was commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. That was during the Revolutionary War. So he became a major leader in the American victory over Great Britain. So he was sworn in as president April 30th, 1789, which we know now the president is sworn in on January 20th. And he was sworn in New York City, because at the time, New York City was the capital of the United States. So he is the only president to be elected unanimously by the Electoral College. I think 3 or 4 times it got really close with Nixon, Reagan, and others, but never unanimous. So he voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms to demonstrate the peaceful transfer of presidential power. So he was born in Virginia to a planter family and became a successful landowner and farmer. I'm going to talk more about some of the things that he grew in a minute. So his home is called Mount Vernon, and it's located along the Potomac River in Virginia. So he didn't have any biological children of his own, but his wife Martha had children from a husband that she was widowed from. Right now, I'm going to take a little side note here. Some of my favorite bills that I want to collect is there's one that has George and Martha Washington on it. I've always wanted that one. I don't have it yet, but I'm eventually going to get that one, and that just reminded me of that. But Martha was originally married in 1759, and then her husband died, and so she was a wealthy widow. So then going back to George Washington again, he served in the French and Indian War as a young officer, and that's where he learned a lot of important stuff. His experience helped him command the Continental Army later on. So it was the Second Continental Congress that appointed him as Commander-in-Chief in 1775. And some of his most famous battles, victories, which you may recall the names of, hopefully, Battle of Trenton, and then Washington famously led his troops across the Delaware River before that battle, right? And then the Battle of Yorktown, 1781, which was a decisive victory that effectively ended the Revolutionary War. And George Washington accepted the surrender of the British at Yorktown. After the Revolution, George Washington voluntarily resigned his military commission rather than becoming a military dictator. So again, we talked about he didn't want to be president forever, and even before that, he didn't want to be the military dictator forever. Now these days, the president is also the commander-in-chief, but he was commander-in-chief first, and then he became president. So when he resigned from his military commission, it really impressed people in America and Europe that someone actually gave up power voluntarily. And George Washington presided over the Continental Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, and that's where they worked on the framework for the U.S. Constitution, and he encouraged all the states to ratify it. His inauguration, I already mentioned, took place in New York City, but during his presidency, the national capital was established on the Potomac River, and that later on became known as Washington, D.C. In 1789, he issued the nation's first major presidential Thanksgiving proclamation calling on Americans to give thanks. So he also set a lot of precedents, including having a cabinet of advisors, and then in his farewell address in 1796, listen to this carefully, he warned Americans against excessive political divisions. Excessive political divisions. A nation can't be divided, right? So we agree that certain things are right and certain things are wrong. We need to work together toward those ends. Instead of fighting against each other, we should be working together. And he also warned Americans against permanent foreign alliances. And we've seen a lot of this lately where president might say, okay, well, you've been our pals for a long time, but we're not really happy with this relationship anymore, and we don't want to be completely bound by this anymore. We need to help each other out, or maybe we don't be friends. So he died December 4th, 1799. He was only 67 years old. And then so many things were named after him, including the U.S. Capitol, the state of Washington, the Washington Monument, many, many cities, many, many counties, many, many schools, streets, military installations, and more. So when I first started talking about this segment, I said that he was born February 22nd, 1732. Well, during his lifetime, the calendar changed from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. So he was actually under the Julian calendar born February 11th, and under the modern calendar it became February 22nd. So that's pretty interesting. And then I want to talk about something that he grew that's pretty amazing. I guess he grew hundreds of kinds of tomatoes on his farm. And at the time, people thought that tomatoes were poisonous. So he actually, it was very controversial to grow tomatoes, and he actually had a tomato eating demonstration because people thought that they would die from eating tomatoes. So why would they die from eating tomatoes? Well, the plates that Europeans and Americans often ate from were pewter plates. Pewter, okay? So what is pewter? It's a mix of tin and some copper and lead. Okay, so lead. All right. So if you have lead and then you have a tomato, which is acidic, it's going to eat through this pewter and release lead, and it's going to make people sick. So people thought this lead poisoning was actually tomato poisoning, but it was actually lead that was poisoning people. him. So I think that's very interesting. But he grew so many different kinds of tomatoes, and I think even still till today, there might still be tomatoes grown at his house. I'm not 100% positive about that, but I thought that was really interesting. So that is George Washington, another reason why I love the United States of America. All right, so I mean, I just want to note with these segments that obviously, you know, my position on different things, but I want to be as impartial as possible. We start talking about, you know, George Washington was part of the Whig Party. Later on, we're going to be talking about Republicans and Democrats, and I don't want to make it look like I'm taking sides, because I'm really not trying to. So I'm going to get facts on Republicans and Democrats from both sides. I'm going to talk about their accomplishments and also some of the struggles they had, or some of the criticisms that they got as well. So anyway, we'll continue on here. Let's talk. You know what? I got to tell you about this. All right. I already told a lot of my friends about this, and I want to tell you about this because it has to do with the next segment. The next segment is, what did you eat today, MW? The answer is, I had a Wendy's quarter-pound single, and a spicy chicken sandwich, and fries. Now, normally I wouldn't eat that much, but there's a reason for that. Today, it was pretty decent. I'm going to give it a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. The fries were crisp, they were warm, the sandwiches were good, they looked good, they weren't disgusting looking, sliding all over the place, dirty, open it up and lettuce falls on your lap type thing. But while I was at the restaurant, I was in the drive-thru, and this is kind of a weird drive-thru. You do see these every once in a while where there's a little berm on the side of it so you can't get out of the drive-thru. So I'm the last car in the drive-thru. There's 4 cars in front of me. The first one's at the window. The second one's about to go to the window. The third one is sitting there. The fourth one is this old lady, and she puts her foot on the gas and hits the lady in front of her. And the lady in front of her got out, and she was upset with her. And she's pointing to the bumper, and the other lady's denying it, and, oh, it's not that bad. And all I could hear them arguing back and forth. And finally, they got their food, and they pulled over to the side, and they were talking when I left. But that was kind of an interesting experience there. What did you tip today, MW? Very little, I would say. Sorry about that. I was saying I tipped very little because I only won a few hands, and I left in disgust, utter disgust. I only tipped a couple dollars. And what did you learn today, MW? I learned I should have stayed home today. I was not in a good mood. I felt like I shouldn't go anywhere, but I went anyway. I pushed myself. I had a positive attitude and everything else. It turned out not so great. I mean, we made money, but we really didn't make any money. But anyway, so that's that. So normally we would end the episode here, but I want to tell you about something. I'm not making any money off this by telling you this. There's no code or anything that I'm going to give you. I don't want you to do anything, to give me anything. I just want to give you information that's going to actually make you free money. Okay, so I already told a lot of my friends about this. I gave them a couple days head start, and I wasn't really going to mention this on here till later, but time is running out for the offer, so I'm going to tell you about it. This offer ends September 10th, okay, 2026. There is a new payment system set up by the banks. It's called PAZE, P-A-Z-E. You don't have to sign up for it. You don't have to do anything. You're already part of it if you have credit cards in the United States. All right? Most likely you are. 99% of people who have credit cards are going to be part of this. So, what is PAZE? PAZE is a way to compete with Venmo and PayPal, and these companies, these banks want control over your credit card spending again, and they want to make money off of it. Instead of a third party, they want to become even stronger. So here's the offer that they have. If you have a credit card associated with PAZE, and I'll discuss how you know if it is or not, the next 10 things that you buy using PAZE, you will get $10 off, $10 or more. So if you pay for if you buy exactly $10 worth of something and you'll get $10 off, you'll actually get it for free. Each credit card that you have that's associated with Pays, you can do this 10 times between now and September 10th. I looked at mine and it appears just under my main email address. I haven't checked my other email addresses. I have at least 4 credit cards that qualify for it. So that means I can buy $10 at any of these retailers, and in the checkout section, click Pays, pay with Pays, and I will get $10 back. So that means I'm going to get $400 back, okay? Here's what I've been using it for lately. I looked at it. People were originally using it for things like Newegg, which is like you could buy computer stuff from there, but they also had gift cards. You could use it for Dunkin', and people were buying Dunkin' gift cards. Buy a $10 Dunkin' gift card, get $10 back. Well, they shut that off. They shut off the Newegg stuff. And then I noticed by checking with the other retailers, all the gift card sales are not included in this. So you can't do that anymore. But companies like Wendy's, Little Caesars, Domino's, Macy's, 1-800-Flowers, FTD, tons of companies, like 30-something companies, are participating in this. So yesterday, to give you an example, I went to Little Caesars and got 2 pizzas for $12, like $11.90 or something, and I'm going to get 10 of the $11 back. I went to Wendy's, and I'm like, what am I going to do, buy $50 on Wendy's a day? So remember, it has to be separate transactions. So I did a transaction at Wendy's where I bought, I think, 4 of their orange juices. They're sealed containers, and they were $10. So I got those for free. I'll get that back from my credit card. And then I went to Domino's Pizza, and they had 2 20-ounce drinks for like $4 or something. And then I got 2 more at regular price. Came out to $11. So I got 4 Coke products for $1. So that's what I've been using it for. I've already used it 6 times. I've got 34 more to go, and I leave for my cruise in like 8 days. So I will start using it a lot more hot and heavy later on in the next couple days. In fact, on my way home tonight, I'll probably stop at Wendy's. There's a Wendy's near where I'm going to be, and I'll probably stop at Domino's and pick up drinks from both of those and take them home. And my kids love those Tropicana juices or whatever they are. So I think they drank them all last night or this morning. They're all gone. So it's free money. It's through the banks. And the way Pays works, you don't have to have a username or password. You don't have to have a login ID. You don't have to sign up. All you do is you click Pay with Pays. You enter in your email address. It'll give you a list of your credit cards already. You don't have to enter in your credit card information. Credit card 1, my first credit card is Costco. So I click on my Costco card. All I have to do is click on my Costco card, enter the 3-digit code, and I'm done. So what that does, and what Pays is trying to do, is make it so that you don't have to keep updating your credit cards, where PayPal will say, oh, you have 4 expired credit cards, fix that and all that. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is just put in your email, put in the 3-digit code, and you paid with it, and it's nice and easy. So I encourage you to give it a try. Let me know what you find out about it. Let me know if it works for you or not. And like I said, it's going to be expiring September 10th. Do your research, make sure the offer still exists. But if you go to the Pays website, it clearly tells you. And I believe when you go to pay at the merchant, it'll tell you the first 10 for each credit card will be $10 off. So that's that. All right, continuing on here, I'll be back. All right, I thought about this now. This is a theory. I'm not telling you to do this, but this is just a theory of a way that you might be able to turn your Pays money into real money. All right, I'm not telling you to do this. This is just me thinking out loud. I was thinking, what if you found something at Macy's that was $10, and you bought it for $10, and you went and picked it up, and you actually did like 10 orders of those things, socks, whatever, for $10. And then you went and picked all 10 of those orders up at the same time, right? Now you have $100 worth of stuff for free, and you only have to pick it up once, right? That alone is great. You got $100 worth of socks or shirts or whatever you want for free. But what would happen if you took those items and you went to another Macy's and you returned them without a receipt? What would they do? Wouldn't they just look up the price and give you a gift card for that amount? So now you have a $100 gift card you could use anytime you want. I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not. Just something I thought about. If you do something like that and it works or doesn't work, let me know. I'm interested to find out. So, all right. I guess for now, let's just continue on home, and I'll catch up with you guys on Sunday. Last couple days haven't been great, but hopefully Sunday turns things around. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.